So April is just around the corner with the second half of the Apocalypse season almost here. There's some pretty interesting cards in here yet again. Some of them that are looking like you'll probably want to grab them as soon as they're out, some not so much, but this season is a crazy one. Honestly, some of these look nuts, and it's going to revive some archetypes that have been kind of stagnant for a little bit, which I'm excited about personally. Now, I will note some of these might change slightly. They tend to just before release, but I wanted to get the video out sooner rather than later, and we'll take a look at them as they are. So first off we have Stryfe, which is a 4/6, and it is the Season Pass card. Objective, play 3 on reveal cards, and then you unlock the objective, use the highest cost on reveal in your hand. Now, highest cost on reveal scares me. There were a couple of decks going around that were like the astral projection kind of thing. I don't believe those took off, mainly because of the fact that you needed to always land on a specific card, you could never guarantee it. This one, however, I mean, even if it just hits Black Panther, it's already a better Black Panther than say you draw Arnim Zola and then copy it. Arnim Zola is the one that I'm worried about. There can be some nuts things you do, whether it's like, I don't know, Sage into Stryfe into like Firehair, something else. You've got your unreveals off from earlier turns, and then it just copies Arnim Zola and chaos ensues. It's a deck that hasn't really been seen very much, but it's a deck that I could see being a problem. I think the card's going to be pretty good. Again, I think there's some things that people could be abusing with it, and the fact that this objective could proc before turn 6, and then on turn 6 you play the card that had the on-reveal. That's another thing. I'm going to give this card a 4.5. I think I won't go quite all the way, but 4.5 seems strong enough for what it's going to be doing. There's probably going to be some Star-Lord things. I am afraid to admit Star-Lord is probably going to make a return. More than likely, it's also going to be copying Fing. I didn't even think about that, Fin Fang Foom. Which already makes me hate this card. Yeah, Finn might end up getting nerfed, you know. I can see a world where they make it like a 7/12 again, but then make it so it only takes the power of the first card in the enemy location. But we'll see. As it stands, this is a scary card. I wouldn't... Am I tempted? I was almost tempted to push for the 5, but I think I'll leave it where it is for now. Next up we have this super premium Season Pass card, Techno Organic Virus. This is a cool one. It's on reveal, copy this to your hand with +2 cost, so I'll give you a 3 cost version of this. Then infect your other cards here, which replaces that text, with ongoing +1 power for each techno-organic virus you've played. So, sort of does a similar thing to what Ancient One does, as in giving everything there the ongoing. I can see this being played in as like a zoo style deck. It will be kind of hard to weave in because you need to have, if you want to play it on all 3 lanes, you need to play this latest turn 4. And turn 5 you play it with 3 cost, and turn 6 you play it with 5 cost. Which isn't the worst thing, really. You play things like Shauna or Squirrel Girl. But ongoing +1 power for each techno-organic virus you've played. You kind of need to play all 3, because then you're giving everything +3. It feels really clunky to me, though. Because I'm just thinking about comparing it to like Cerebro, for example. It replaces the text completely from these cards, which, again, hadn't considered it, but could be good in like a Sauron style deck, with all those cards that you want to remove the text from anyway. Honestly, that might be where it sees more play. Like if you play a Lizard, I don't know, like an Ebony Maw, although that would be impossible because you can't play this on top of it, but unless it's the same turn. I'm talking myself in circles, but you get the idea. Just take a bunch of these cards that have downsides like star brands and whatnot, and then change their effect. Again, those decks don't tend to throw out a bunch of stuff, but if you mix the 2 stars of deck together with like Shana, Squirrel Girl, Sauron, Lizard, could be a weird deck, but I could see it working. In the same vein that Cerebro works, it's not a deck everybody likes, but it can do pretty well. I'll give this a 3.5. I'll be sort of going in the middle, because nothing jumps out to me right now, but some people will cook things up that will shock me, I'm sure. Next up we have Wolverine Horseman of War. Objective. This has 6 or more power. I have read somewhere 5 as well, but we'll stick with 6 for now. Give 1 of your other cards at each location plus 3 power. This is the Season 5 card on the first week. I am very excited for this one as well. There's always been an archetype I've really liked where it's like the buff one, where you would play like Okoye and Bastos, Forge, those sort of cards, and I guess now like Maverick. It's a bit of a shame that those decks got ruined and kind of pushed into Shulao territory, but it's a different playstyle, because I don't think with this you necessarily want to play Shulao. You could. It is a limiting factor of needing a lot of smaller cards to make Shulao work, but yeah, honestly it probably will just be used with Shulao now I think about it. But you do have the like Scarlet Spider, you have the Mavericks, you have even something like Infinity Ultron, because it has 2 stones that copy cards, copy Infinity Ultron power-wise to another location. A drone with Infinity Ultron's power. Although it doubles Infinity Ultron's power. I really liked trying that style deck. This could be a good card to fit there. I think it's going to be pretty decent. I think for now, I'll put it at 4. So I guess my ranking for this week is Stryfe, then Wolverine, then Techno-Organic Virus. But I think I'm pretty happy with that. Then we have a Series 4 card, a 2/3 Askani'son. I think I said that right. Activate, create a 1-cost card at another location. Increase the cost each time you're winning here as the turn starts. Interesting. So I guess if you play it, start of next turn, the card you'll create goes up to a 2-cost, so on. So technically the best it could be is like a start of turn 4 it's 3-cost, start of turn 5 it's 4-cost. Start of turn 6 it's 5-cost. If you're winning on every single turn. I think this could be pretty good. I would definitely have a lot of fun with this in like a random Cersei style deck. Don't necessarily know how good it's going to be. It's a bit of a weird one. It does go into I Am Patriot kind of territory, but by default it's a 2/3 that you have to pay no extra cost to just create a 1-cost at another location. It also gives me Mr. Fantastic vibes a little bit. The zombie one. I think this is pretty good actually. I'm gonna give it a 4-star. Then on week 2, April 14th, we have another angel, but it's Archangel, Horseman of Death. It's a 2/3. Another objective card. Your cards are destroyed 4 times. Resurrect one here with +4 power. So pretty much just flat out destroy card. Yeah, it's not really going to be a combo S card. It's not anything like Elixir or anything like that, because you have to destroy 4 cards, so you're really committing to the destroy here. Could be in like a Morgula Phaela style thing, but I think I see it in a similar vein to weapons. It's not very often that you'll be able to choose the card that's been destroyed. It's probably going to be more of a Dormammu kind of card. Cards you destroy being the same ones you want to resurrect, it's a bit odd, because it's like with Wolverine or Deadpool or cards like that, they return to your hand, so they don't technically count as being destroyed. So most of the time it would just bring back a card. It's technically still a 2/7 at that. It's a very strong stat line, but getting extra benefits from it is an interesting one. I'm not too sure, no decks come to mind right now, but I'm pretty sure somebody would be able to cook something with this. I'll give it a 3.5 for now. That's a very unsure guess currently, because I do believe this one more so than others is probably one that I'm not thinking of something. Then the following week, on April the 21st, we have Polaris Horseman of Pestilence. This is the card I'm most excited for, I think. It's a 2/2 objective. Cards in play are afflicted with -5 power. Put a card from your hand here. So it's mainly just going to be a toxic deck card. A very effective one, I think. You'll play it and you'll have like Hazmat just affects a bunch of the enemy cards with whatever, and then it pulls down like a Ajax or whatever. That kind of deck I really like. I think the only problem there is Malekith, how Malekith works. I've noticed people were mentioning a similar issue. You play Malekith and it pulls this. Malekith will reveal it at the end of the game and then its ability won't trigger. Could be a sticking point. I also think more than likely this card is going to be seen in decks that aren't necessarily toxic. Putting a little bit of thought into it. Even something like Dormammu. Again, I bring it up because Dormammu's second ritual spell absorbs power. -5 isn't too difficult. You throw something like Marrow in there. Marrow getting destroyed and afflicting power amongst the enemies. Even if you just throw one more card in there that afflicts negative power, all of a sudden you've got a Polaris that's pulling like... Again, I guess that's a bit of a problem, right? Because you're running destroy cards in that deck. You don't really want Polaris to just pull down like a Venom or whatever. Probably needs some more theory crafting, but there's actually a lot of toxic negative afflicting style cards in the game now that this card doesn't have to be limited to the toxic Hazmat Ajax style decks. It could go into a Lockjaw style deck, for example. Lockjaw afflicting -2 power every turn. If it's happened 3 times, Polaris procs, but again you'll just be pulling like some small 1-drop. So it could do some theory crafting, but it is a card I'm very excited for, and I know I'm going to throw it into toxic. I'm going to try it with all these other negative effect cards, and for that reason I'm going to give it 5-star. I think that's personal preference. I don't necessarily know if it will be the best card. Stryfe could very easily be the best card. I have a feeling Wolverine, in retrospect, might be too tricky to actually get to 6 power a lot of the time. But we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. And compared to other cards, yeah, I think this card is the one I'm most looking forward to this season. Then in the same week, probably from a limited time game mode, we have a Series 4 card, Mother Askani, which is a 4/4. On reveal, give your leftmost card in your hand +2 power and -1 cost, then copy it. This is a pretty useful card, actually. For saying it's a Series 4 card, I could see a lot of opportunities where this just makes a card in your hand like 2 cost or a 3 cost, and the extra power and copying it. So your next turn just play 2 beastly cards. This season feels very heavily oriented towards combos, I feel. There's a lot of different combo pieces here that could activate some things. It's going to take a lot of theory crafting, that's for sure. Even if this card was to hit a 6-drop, for example, you could then play it on turn 5, then the following turn play it alongside a 1-drop. It's also a created in hand card, technically, as well. That's nothing to forget, really, when we have Gambit, Horseman of Death, and Victoria Hand, and all these things. Feels a little bit like Esme, to a degree, as well. But I don't see it fitting into negative the same way other cards do. Maybe, though. Maybe it could. Because if you've got just like a Gore in the left of your hand, or an Iron, or anything along those lines, being able to play those on the next turns when they have plus power, and having 2 of them is very, very strong. Could possibly see it in there. Don't know if it would work because it's not actually going to be affected by negative itself, and the whole negative archetype at that point, you don't really want to flood your deck with too many cards you aren't hitting with negative. It always feels like a hit or miss deck, like if you get negative off, you snap. If you don't, you retreat, you know. So maybe it doesn't want a card like this. I'd be curious to see where it fits. I'm gonna give this one a probably 3-star, because at the same time you have to know what's going to be in the left of your hand, which isn't always guaranteed either. Like, you could try and get things out to make room for something else, but as I've tried that with the wing beat with zombie galactic decks. It's never that easy. You want to try and flood your hand, but then you have better plays and it can mess with you a little bit. So I think 3 stars I'm comfortable. And then lastly, on week 4, we have another Storm, Horseman of Famine, which is a 3/2 objective and 2 turns in a row with unspent energy. Keep your other cards here and in your hand +2 power. What? I feel like I didn't fully understand what this card was until reading it now. But ending 2 turns in a row with unspent energy is a very easy task. Most people would do that by turn 2, honestly. If you're playing a high evo deck, you just skip your first turn and on your second turn you play like a Sunspot or something. This card is kind of nuts. A little bit scary thinking about it. It's definitely an evo card. Don't think it works in Star-Lord decks because it's a card that you need to get out early enough so that it's buffing your hand, but it also needs to buff your your board at the same time. It's just a very big static card. I think guaranteed a lot of the time you're going to get this off in an evo. Say you played Sunspot, and then you could even play this on turn 3 if you really wanted to. You don't have to have unspent energy on its turn. You play it on top of Sunspot, it gives Sunspot +2 power and every other card in your hand +2 power. Pretty good, I think. I'm going to give it a 4.5. The only thing that's stopping me from going higher is the fact that it's kind of limited. Like, you could run it in other things, but like Star-Lord, for example, got played in Evo for a little bit, then just got completely left behind in Evo and went straight over to like a combo style deck with multiple different combo style decks. This, for example, it has to fit in Evo. If it doesn't, it could go into a deck that's trying to do the same thing, where you just skip turn 1 and then play a 1-drop on turn 2. Which isn't too tricky. It could probably get paired with Wolverine, thinking about it. Like in some sort of deck where you want to buff a bunch of cards. I have to give this one some thought as well. But if it goes down that route, it is yet again another combo style card, which I'm not complaining about. It's nice to have those kind of cards. And I'm excited for that as well. 4.5. Something's telling me I should make Storm the 5-star and Polaris the 4.5. Just because Polaris feels a little bit clunky. Okay, in retrospect, I'm going to make Storm the 5-star, because I think this effect is too easy to get off. And it's basically just... Is it Nakia? It's just Nakia, but better. It gives everything in your hand +2 power. And it also gives it to things on your board. Making the most of those buffs is going to be the thing, but again, if you have things like Scarlet Spider and the Wolverine Horseman of War, a whole bunch of other things that benefit from buffs, Sebastian Shaw, you get the point. This card is just stonks. And that wraps it up for all of the April cards coming out soon. I hope you guys are excited for this one because there's so much like variation in these cards. I really like it. We've got quite a lot of objectives though. I feel this season they were definitely pushing the objectives, and they wanted another season where they could do that. I'm going to cover these week by week as usual, so if you guys wanna stick around, don't forget to drop a little subscribe. I'm going to go over the deck that I try with each of these. I tend to go for more fun-oriented decks. I try and not go for the one that everybody's playing. It tends to be difficult when you have to theorycraft so much ahead. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Thanks in advance, and I'll speak to you all next time.